Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to some more Backloggery cataloging. Now, before we get too into the... Okay, my chat box is okay. Everything is fine. Yes, I was... Originally, the plan today was actually to stream a little bit more God of War. But I am going to do a little bit more testing and experimenting because we did have... Again, we had some... not digital... technical difficulties last time, and I want to make sure that I can do everything I can to minimize scuff as much as scuff is just part of like the VTuber experience. I want to try to make it a little bit nicer. Nonetheless, I was going to do Backloggery either today or tomorrow, so we're doing it today instead of tomorrow. And yeah, we're just gonna continue with this as per usual. I want to see if anybody else comes in next couple minutes, but we have been waiting for a while now. I send all of my notifications. I think so, at least. I see Twitter, Reddit, Discord. Yeah, we should be okay. So last time, the last game we added, if I'm not mistaken, should have been Sly Cooper. Yeah, Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. That was the last game we added. And the previous time, I actually did get a new game between the previous stream, but it's not really new. I got the God of War 3 Remastered Edition on PS4. So, you know, in preparation of when we play that game later, we can play the better version instead of the PS3 version. Otherwise, though, I haven't really gotten anything, so it's not really a new game. It's just an upgrade to a game I already had. But besides that, everything should be the same. So let's just. I think we're almost done with the physical PS3 game, so we should be able to finish that tonight. And then, you know, depending on how late the time is by the time we get to that, we can either move on to the digital games, or it might just be time to end the stream at that point. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add a game, and let's open our picture album. So yeah, the last time I didn't add the final game on this little thing here, which is, again, I can't read that because that's Russian. But I know that says The Legend of Spyro. Dawn of the Dragon? Let me double check that I got the title right before I jumped the gun here. Let me put that on real quick. Make sure I don't have any incriminating... I always talk about incriminating evidence like I've got some weird thing here. Now I'm just looking. Okay. The Legend of Spyro. Yeah, Dawn of the Dragon. That's the name of the third game in the Legend of Spyro franchise, and it's the only one I actually have. It's not the only one I've ever had. I did have the first one, A New Beginning. I played it. I didn't like it. I played it. And then I got rid of it because I didn't like it. And I've never touched Eternal Night, whatever the hell the name of it is. It's not I've not heard good things of that game. I've seen gameplay of that game. It doesn't look particularly interesting. And I know the Legend of Spyro trilogy is supposed to kind of be played together, but I didn't, and I don't feel like it. I mean, I watched the cutscenes, if that counts for anything. I don't remember them. I don't remember the story of these games very much. I just know they have one. But nonetheless, let me go back over here. Switch to picture album. Let me make sure that chat is working as intended. Chat. Okay, yes, chat is working fine. So we're going to go ahead and add the thing. The Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon. Now this one was made by a different studio than the previous two Legend of Spyro games. The first two are made by Chrome Studios, which are mainly known for Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. It's interesting because Thai doesn't really have much of a story. I mean, I can only really speak for the first one because that's the only one I'm actually familiar with. I know there's like a little bit of a story at the end, but there's not really much of it. And the Legend of Spyro seemed to be like a really story-heavy take on the Spyro series, and it just... I don't know, if I feel like it really didn't do too much on that front. But, you know, we'll see. Anyways, it is not part of a compilation of anything. It's on the PlayStation 3. The original system is on the PlayStation 3. Surprisingly, this game... There's not too many Spyro games on PC. In fact, I believe the only Spyro games on PC are the Reignited trilogy. So, not even Skylanders. And Skylanders is in like freaking everything. Except PC. So, you know, it's... They got a little bit of a weird thing going on there. But this one I did finish. I didn't complete it. I didn't really feel like completing it, if I have to be perfectly honest with you. It's, I mean, it's arguably the best of the Legend of Spyro trilogy. Gameplay-wise, still not that good, though. And there's some real bad, like, really bad frame rate drops on that game. Like, it'll actually run at 60 sometimes, and it'll drop to like 15. It's really bad. But it's fine, I guess. There is some stuff to complete. There is collectibles and all of that stuff. Or maybe I'll come back to them one day. Maybe I won't. I don't really know. Not really. I don't have much to say about this one. I mean, I guess the whole gimmick of being able to play as Spyro and Cinder is kind of cool. I just remember never playing as Spyro because Cinder just had like this one breath type that was like the best thing in the game. So like I never had a reason to use Spyro, and I think the game does have multiplayer, so you can play co-op, and that would be fun. But that's local multiplayer, not online, and I don't think I know anyone who would like to make like a continuous co-op series of The Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon, so we're gonna pretend like that's just not gonna happen. I don't believe the game has trophies, but I guess I could double check. I will probably end up turning the PlayStation 3 on later in this stream. Probably. Progress note. Let's see, finished it. It's alright, I guess. The main thing that really made me want to try out the Spyro, the Legend of Spyro trilogy specifically, not the Spyro games. The Spyro games are just good. That's why you want to play them. The Legend of Spyro games, the music is what made me interested. The music is very, like, I don't want to say Disney-like, but it's very, like, epic. It's very grandiose. And it makes you feel, like, you know, from the music, that there would be a really good story to accompany that music. But again, there just really isn't. The story is more corny than anything. It's not really that well written. I guess it's a 3 stars. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 3, but I would definitely not give it a 4. It's a little bit complicated. And from that, I guess we could talk about the rest of the Spyro series. The funny thing today, I actually got the I downloaded the first 3 Spyro games onto the PS1 emulator. I have the Reignited trilogy on Steam. That's the version that I want to play of those games. But I also like kind of showing how the originals were and how they compare. So I want to give that version a look on stream, even if we don't do like a full playthrough of the original versions of Spyro or Crash for that matter. Still want to show what they were like back in the day. you know, it's good to see how a series evolves, how they learn from their mistakes in the past and all of that stuff. And that's cool. And then after those first 3 games, Spyro went into a downward spiral. No pun intended. I mean, let's see. The only notorious games that I can think of were Enter the Dragonfly, which is terrible. That game's so bad. A Hero's Tale, which is tedious. It's better than Enter the Dragonfly, but it's not good. It's not fun. And then after that, there's a bunch of mobile, not mobile, portable games for Spyro, on like the Game Boy Advance and some on the DS, I think. I don't know. I think Ant Dude has a video on this. I should go back and look at that so I can remember. And then there's a Legend of Spyro games, and then there was the whole Skylanders thing, where Spyro basically became a side character of his own game, which is depressing, very, maybe even upsetting, but it is what it is. It just kind of happened, and now he's back with the Reignited trilogy, and hopefully he'll get a new game in the next couple of years. I mean, let's see, like how long did it take to make Crash 4? I would imagine that Toys for Bob was working on Crash 4 since like the start of the development of like the Insane trilogy, maybe a little bit after or maybe a little bit before, because games nowadays take a very long time to make, and when they don't take a very long time to make, the developers get crunched to hell and back, and I'm not okay with that. So if the next Spyro has to take another 4 or 5 years to finish, that's fine. Let it take another 4 or 5 years to finish. I'd rather have a good game made with you know, moral, what's the word here? Made with good business practices and good work ethic, than a rushed game that crunches the developers. I really, there's so much stuff about crunch that I could get into, but I'm gonna save that for another time. Anyways, what is the next game on the picture album? Let's see. I believe we're down to the last few, so yes. The Tales of series. Boy, do I have a couple of things to say about this. But let's go ahead and start with Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, which is an HD remaster of the original Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, which ironically is a game from that generation, from the PS3 generation. It just came out on the Wii, so it's not HD. And then they put it on PS3, and then it's HD. And you know, we'll talk about the rest of these later, but let's just start with Symphonia. Now, I've played Tales of Symphonia way too many times. Like, I want to say at least 7 times. And that's not even throughout like years and years and years of owning the franchise. That's like since I started since I owned this game in like 2016, maybe 2015, but probably more like 2016. I don't know why, but I've just gone back to Symphonia over and over and over. And fair enough, the affection system on that game does kind of give it some special form of free play, just to see some like interesting cutscenes with the different characters that you can befriend, or I mean, not befriend, just build a relationship for in that game. And I actually do have a platinum trophy for it, and I feel like I should actually show that, because that is not just a basic statement that I just said. Having a platinum trophy for Tales of Symphonia is no measly task. So I'm gonna turn on my PlayStation 3. It's gonna make a noise here in just a second. So let me see if I can switch to the content room. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I'm going to navigate towards my thing. Should be there is a delay as I'm doing this, so just, you know. Hey Jackrabbit, how you doing? Cheers, Bash. I was saying pretty good. We are just talking about games today. This is, I'm not sure if you've ever been into one of my Backloggery streams, but we literally just like talk about games. Currently we are talking about Tales of Symphonia. And we're gonna continuously talk about the entire Tales series, but as you can see here, I do have a platinum trophy for this. It took me way too damn long. But that's 40 out of 40 trophies, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over here. And well, first I gotta add that. But let's see. Tales of Symphonia. Yeah. And then Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, that's what the collection name is. And I guess the original system is GameCube, but okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing with Tales of Symphonia in this collection. The original, the very first release of Tales of Symphonia came out on GameCube. Exclusively on GameCube. And that was a worldwide release. Well, no, not worldwide. It was in Japan and in America. I don't think it came out in Europe, in PAL regions. But then in Japan, a year later, or maybe 2 years later, they made a PS2 version of Tales of Symphonia with a little bit of extra content. Not too much, like just a couple of extra abilities and I want to say like a few more like end game content and stuff like that. It's really not that much of a difference, but there is a little bit more content. But that version was only in Japan. And here's the real kicker of that version. Because the PS2 is a weaker machine than the GameCube, that version of Tales of Symphonia runs at 30 frames per second instead of 60 like the GameCube version did. And when they ported the PS2 version to PS3 and then made a worldwide release for that, they did not fix the frame rate. So yeah, Tales of Symphonia on PS3 and on PC runs natively at 30 frames per second instead of 60 when the original GameCube release ran at 60. There was a lot of backlash for that. People that were not fans of how Bandai Namco handled that, and rightly so. There was also some other problems with the PC release, which were very swiftly fixed by the community. As was the case with Dark Souls. Basically, a lot of Bandai Namco games had very, very poor PC ports, and Tales of Symphonia was one of them. But yes, anyways, this version has all of the content from the PS2 version, plus a little bit more because it's got like some extra costumes based on different games of the series. So, like each character gets a costume from another character, and some of these costumes are from games that came after Tales of Symphonia. So like Rain gets a costume for Pascal, which she's from Tales of Graces. Kratos gets Luger's skin. I think that's the newest Tales of game that had come out, Tales of Xillia 2. So yeah, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles came out after Tales of Xillia 2. Before Systeria, but after Xillia 2. So they gave, so there's costumes of pretty late games in that collection. But that's about the only new content on the PS3. And obviously, again, the updated textures. Trust me, the updated textures are not pretty enough for that game to not run at 60. It should run at 60, it just doesn't. But yeah, I've played it so many freaking times. So many freaking times. I don't know. It's not like it's even my favorite Tales of game. I mean, I like it. I really like it. But I guess it's because of it's the first one I played, so I feel like I should have gone back and completed it. And I guess that's why I did it. But otherwise, I mean, I've played Tales of the Abyss twice. The first time was just like my regular playthrough, and my second time was like my completionist playthrough, which I didn't do everything because of the cooking things, the cooking titles. Nobody has that kind of sanity. But everything else I pretty much did. Pretty much. I did have some issues. I'll get into that whenever I update that game. But, and then, like, I've also finished Tales of Legendia 1.5 times. I know that sounds weird. But that game basically has 2 halves, and both halves almost feel like entire games on their own. I finished the first half twice. The first time I played the game, I didn't know the second half was actually like an entire whole new campaign and not just like some little bit bonus content. And apparently neither did the director of the English voice acting for Tales of Legendia, because that entire section, except for like the animated cutscenes and the skits, does not have voice acting, when the first half was almost entirely voice. So that was a thing. So I played that second half, and we'll get onto that when we talk about Tales of Legendia more in depth. I've also played Vesperia. Even though I've only played Vesperia once, I think it's my favorite. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's my favorite, because the combat system in that game is just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. It's so smooth. It's so satisfying. The game is also packed to the brim with content. Maybe not quite as much as Symphonia, but okay, the way Symphonia packs itself to the brim with content is by making you replay the game multiple times, because you basically need you need to play the game at least 3 times on GameCube to complete it. Then with the added content on PS2, it was like 4 times, and then with the PS3 and like trophies and stuff, we made it like you basically have to play the game at least 4 times and start a 5th playthrough in order to get this platinum trophy. And again, I had the sanity for it somehow. I don't know how. Did it? Yeah, never doing it again. I mean, I'm probably gonna stream the game at some point, because I do genuinely like this game a lot. But I do not have the sanity to complete Tales of Symphonia ever again. It was too much. The platinum. I would probably stream the what's the name of it? The Steam version of Tales of Symphonia. Because it is one of the few games, one of the few Tales of games that is available on Steam, as I mentioned already. And we're going to talk about it. Hey, Aiken Labs, of all the games for me to hop on, it's the only one I've played. Yeah, we were just talking about The Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon. I don't think you played that. I don't think you played any Spyro games, but I'm especially sure you don't. I don't think you played that one. And now we're talking about the Tales of series, starting with Tales of Symphonia. It is an excellent game. Again, it is genuinely one of my favorite JRPGs. It is my first Tales of game, which I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the Tales of series is my favorite JRPG franchise. I'm unsure if it's my favorite gaming franchise, period. That's a very high order for the whole franchise to take, but I do genuinely really like this game. So I think they're probably only second to Kingdom Hearts. Because Kingdom Hearts it's just too much fun to play. Even if the stories are a piece of shit, the Kingdom Hearts games are very fun to play. I didn't know it was on Steam. Does that version have anything the GameCube version doesn't? Customs, for example. So yes, I was just talking about this, so let me summarize real quick. This version is based on the PS2 version that had a little bit more content than the GameCube version. This version has a little bit more content than the PS2 version, and the Steam version is this version. So yes, there's a little bit more content. Nothing major, just a few more titles, so like customs, and maybe a few more abilities than the original GameCube release. So like the original GameCube version is still like a perfectly valid way to play Symphonia. But yes, the Steam version has a little bit more in exchange of a lower frame rate, yes. We're gonna get into that in just a second. So there is, as far as I'm aware, would you call it a definitive edition? Content-wise, yes. Performance-wise, no. There is a Tales of Symphonia PC like... Hold on, let's see. I know there was a mod that made it go up to like at least 40 frames per second. Because natively it runs at 30. There were mods trying to make it go up higher. And again, as I explained like it real quick, it's because the PS2 version that this remaster is based on ran at 30 instead of 60. And they didn't bother increasing the frame rate when porting it to newer consoles, which was dumb. But let's see what this thread from 2019 has to say about Tales of Symphonia on PC. I heard there's a lot of issues at launch, should I just go with the GameCube version? Pretty good, probably even the best version now. You also get Caladain's mod, which fixes and improves the rest of the issues. So let's see what this mod does exactly. New DLC, man. The game was a technical mess and Namco had a history of making minimal improvements. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see, the game was broken starting frame rate limiter. I understand it's serious frame rate limiter. Devel and our folder solution. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I feel like having a frame rate would... Having the frame rate would kill battles for me. Since they're so action heavy. Yeah. I kind of want to go and try the GameCube version one day. Maybe... You know what, maybe if I can't find a reliable mod that makes Symphonia's frame rate go up, we might opt for the GameCube version when we stream that game someday, instead of the Steam version. And again, because like the original release was a technical mess, so like I don't feel like supporting Bandai Namco too much in this department. Well, let's see. So version automatically disabled. Let's just FPS. I know last time you mentioned you removed the 60 FPS fix from the world map and made it FPS. However, would you have to have okay, hold on. Frame rate limiter fixed. Well, I guess I'll have to do some more research in my own time. If this runs at 60, actually maybe a YouTube video will let us know. Hold on. Let's Tails. I want to see like a newer video. No, that's Dolphin. There was a Jimquisition about it too. I remember that. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much everybody is just talking about the GameCube version. So let's see. I guess we can check out this video from 2016. I don't think it's really gonna... Let me shut this out real quick. So let's make sure that this is a 720p 60 frames per second.
Lloyd.
Hi, Lloyd. It shows how crusty the sound in that. That is not 60.
How do you manage to sleep standing?
Definitely 30
Professor
frames per
Rain, is class
It's a
over?
trap battle. Maybe that'll... This video is lying to me. That is not 60 frames per second. I know what 60 frames per second looks like, sir. Let me show you what 60 frames per second looks like. That's what 60 frames per second looks like. That is how the game's supposed to run. Well, okay, no, I think it's double tier, but let me show you how like a battle looks.
You're going down.
There. You can notice it. There is a very... Oh wait, hold on a second.
Alright.
Is there like a... Oh, did they do like an automatic HD texture pack for the Dolphin, like, GameCube version? I mean, if so, then that's the best version you can get on PC instead of like the regular Steam version. I don't care about the achievements. I already completed this game. I have the proof. Listen, I have the proof. I completed this game. I'm not about to do that ever again. Jesus. Okay, let's go back to pirate ship ambience, which has about 30 minutes left on it. Let's see. This game is in that awkward basket with Crystal Chronicles, where the old GameCube version runs the best. Yeah, it's... I don't know why that seems to be like a trend. I hope it doesn't continue to be a trend. It was many years ago, I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that Inquisition, mainly just because I'm such a Tales of guy that, like, that was particularly noteworthy for me. But let's see. Anyways, part of the Tales of Symphonia Chronicles collection is also Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. It's funny because we just added Dawn of the Dragon, which was the Legend of Spyro, and now we're adding another game that has the word Dawn of the something on it. I don't know. I didn't plan this, I promise. It's just a thing that happened. Anyways, Dawn of the New World is the is a spin-off / sequel to Tales of Symphonia. It wants to be a Pokemon game. I did not finish this one. I played it for a bit, like a couple hours. It wants to be Pokemon, because you collect monsters in that game, and instead, like, you only really have 2 party members. The main character Emil and the main characters Emil and Marna. As far as I know, I mean, I didn't play the whole game, so I can't really tell you, but you collect monsters in that game. The monsters like actually help you in battle, and it's interesting. And this one runs at 60. On the Wii it ran at 60, and on the PS3 it runs at 60. But does it run on PC? Oh wait, it isn't on PC. Why? Namco? Why did you put the first game on PC when it's just like a port of the PS3 version, but not the other one that came with the collection? So let's I guess we can go ahead and name the original system as Nintendo Wii. Where is it? Is this called Nintendo Wii here, or is it just called Wii? It's just called Wii. Okay. Let's see. You're required to name your next Tales of Stream Tales of X. I mean, fair enough. It does move a lot. The whole tail thing behind me was one of the most important parts of my model. I had to very much try to make this thing move as much as it does, but the results are fascinating and very enjoyable for the people, that I'm sure. Anyways, you're also required to finish it. I wish I had some advice to make that easier on you, but I don't. Yeah. Alright. Anyways, let's see. So, Dawn of the New World, yeah, it's an interesting game, but it is very commonly regarded as a bad game. Opinions on Tales of games from the Tales of community are extremely polarizing. Some people will tell you so-and-so is their favorite and that so-and-so is terrible, and then another person will give you the exact opposite opinion, and then another person will tell you that they're completely indifferent about them, but they like this one instead of that one. Basically, you are very rarely going to find people. Maybe just on Reddit. That's the main place I've really seen it, but it does seem like, generally speaking, there is no like universal Tales of game that everybody agrees is great, and very few Tales of games that everyone universally agrees is terrible. And pretty much the only one that everybody agrees is terrible is Tales of the Tempest, and that's because there's a whole story behind that one. This one, most people don't like it, but some do. So I played it for a bit. I didn't continue it because I didn't. I don't know. I felt like there was a weird difficulty spike with that game. I don't know, like, it's way harder than you would think. And I'm not sure if the difficulty is because the game is genuinely difficult, or if because the combat system with like the monsters helping you instead of regular party members just makes everything more complicated. So I'm gonna mark that as unfinished, but not unplayed. I'm not gonna list the trophies for that. I don't really feel like I need to. And I'm gonna type started, played for a bit, got stuck, may come back. Only on stream. Speaking of Red, I won't want to derail your train of thought, but I am curious what your thoughts are on the GameStop stock shenanigans going on right now. I will start by saying that I do not know the first thing about like deep economics. I know what money is. I know how to make money. Not really. I don't make that much money, but I know that money is important, and I know stocks are a thing that people do. I don't know how to do stocks. I don't know how they work. I took an economics class. I didn't really absorb any information from that class, but I did take one. But I have seen some people explaining that, like, apparently it's making Wall Street like lose their freaking minds, because I don't know how, but this is like breaking rich people. It's something like you borrow trades or like stocks, and then you sell them to somebody, and then you buy them back at a cheaper price, and like that's how you make money. It's really weird. Again, for somebody who doesn't understand economics like me, it's really weird. I don't get it, but apparently rich people are losing. So I'm not particularly upset. I'm just baffled at what's happening right now. It seems to be serious. Like, I know it's just people on Reddit playing with stocks. Like, it sounds silly, but apparently it's serious. Like, Wall Street is like legitimately losing their shit over what's happening right now, and they can't stop it. Like, they can complain about it, and they can try to like tell Discord to ban Wall Street, for which they did for like a couple hours and then unban them, but they can't stop it. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to observe from the sidelines. Just to, I think Wall Street deserves a good kick in the pants, and I appreciate the chaos. But on the other hand, I can't track the long-term consequences and have no idea how it'll impact me. Yeah, like, I know it's not entirely good. I know it's not necessarily a good thing that they're doing for the people. I think it's like people are becoming rich. Like, new people are like rich people that were poor before are becoming rich from taking from the other rich people, but they are rich now. They're not like spreading to the people. No, they're just basically switching hands from who has the money, and it's cathartic to see Wall Street lose their minds, but it's not something that's actually like good for all of us. It's punishing Wall Street, not making us feel bad. There are firms that basically bet on what the price of the stock will be, and the shenanigans are causing those bets to be wrong and lose money. Yeah, so it is, as someone explained, meme economics, like meme stocks. And this, again, despite the silly name, it is serious. It is a thing that people have to be aware of, or at least should be aware of. Anyways, so I was gonna show the I wanted to show something here. So let's go to Steam. We just go to like the website here. Not videos. Welcome to Steam. Let us search the store. So, Tales of. Just Tales of. So here's what Tales of games are available on Steam, and I'm pretty sure it's no better in any other storefront that is on PC, like Humble Store or GOG or Epic Games Store or anything. We have Tales of Berseria, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Zestiria, and Tales of Symphonia. And then, you know, DLC for like Berseria and Zestiria. But that is it. There's a lot of other games that have the words Tales of here, but they're not from the Tales of series. There are only 4 mainline or spin-off Tales of games available on PC. There are 16 mainline Tales of games, and spin-offs. Oh man, we're getting like dozens. We're getting into the dozens of games in this franchise, and Steam only has 4. The 2 newest ones, the latest remaster, and another remaster that came out in a pretty poor state. That is not okay. That Bandai Namco is they're just losing money here. Because let me show you what happens if I look up Final Fantasy. If I want to play Final Fantasy, I can go to Steam and buy 14, 15, 10 and 10 2, 12, 7, the original 7, 9, 8. No, that's 13. 8, 6, World of Final Fantasy, 4, more 15, 3. It goes back all the way back to 3, 11. We can have 14 and 11, which are both MMOs. Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, the other 13, Dissidia, 5, the original version of 8, and the remaster version of 8, which is just hilarious. Type 0 for the after years. This, you can get every mainline Final Fantasy title from 3 all the way to 15, and I'm sure 16 will also be available on Steam when it comes out. Look at the difference here, Bandai Namco. If I want to get into the Tales of series, you have no idea what the hell I have to do. What a newcomer will not do it, because they're gonna be so intimidated by how many different consoles and retro stuff they have to research and get in order to get into like the Tales of series. You know, besides assuming that it's a newcomer that like just has a PC or maybe a modern console. If they want to do the same with Final Fantasy, they've got so many options. They got all of the options. They don't have 1 and 2. I mean, let's be real here. Do we really need Final Fantasy 1 and 2? It's not a big loss. They were pretty old games, all things considered. Let me go here and catch up with the chat real quick. I wonder if they'll cheat and use 60 FPS footage in the trailers, maybe. What if the Bandai Namco was just scared of digital distribution or something? They're very old-fashioned. Maybe if it's the Namco side more than the Bandai side, because I think the Bandai side is what handles like anime licensed games, so like Dragon Balls, Naruto's, Sword Art Online's, all of those. Yeah, those are pretty readily available on Steam. It's the Namco side that's just like they're just not ready, and that's bad. That's bad. We need to get Tales of games available on modern hardware. There is an upcoming Tales of Anniversary concert. I think not a concert. Just every year there's a Tales of Festival where they celebrate the Tales of series, and they bring voice actors from all the games. It's in Japan, by the way, and in Japanese. Bring people from all the games, they bring voice actors, they talk about them, they celebrate the franchise. they don't bring us the games. And there's a lot of other Japanese franchises that do, like, I think there's some other like JRPG franchise recently that like is going to have a celebratory concert, but like the games themselves are not available on modern hardware. Like, what is the point? Listen, Japan, not everyone has access to Shibuya Street. Not everyone can go to Shibuya and go to a game store in Shibuya and get whatever they want, because Shibuya's like retro preservation is excellent. Not all of us can go to Shibuya, Japan. Some of us are stuck in different countries and all we have is PCs. I mean, I've got more other things than PCs, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, look at this. If Square can do it, if Koei Tecmo can do it with Atelier, look at this. If I want to get into Atelier, Ryza 2 just came out, Ryza 1, Sophie, Escanlogi, Lulua, Aisha, and yes, these prices are ridiculous. I will point that out. I will criticize Koei Tecmo for that. They should not be charging this much for games that are this old. But whatever, at least they're available. Look at all of these games that I can get if I want to get into Atelier. Final Fantasy. Even Kingdom Hearts. Like, okay, I'll admit, Kingdom Hearts is not available on PC, unfortunately. I'll, you know, look it up and we find Kingdom Come and Hollow Knight still on, but we can't get into Kingdom Hearts. But they are available. Every single Kingdom Hearts game is available on PS4 and Xbox One. So at least they're doing something. Bandai Namco is just dropping the ball with Tales of. It's no wonder that the series doesn't really have much presence in the West, because they don't, it literally doesn't have presence in the storefronts. If you want to get into the Tales of series in the West, you have to be willing to like import and look for retro game stores and all of that, but that shouldn't be the solution. That shouldn't be how we do it. And hey, that's only going to encourage us to emulate more. That's only going to encourage piracy. If you don't give us the option, I've mentioned this before, if publishers don't make an effort to bring the games to modern hardware, make them readily accessible and affordable for current players, then they're going to go with the next option, which is emulating, pirating, and getting things from, you know, used game stores and everything that does not give the publishers money. There is money sitting on the table and they're not taking it. They're not doing anything with it. That's not okay, Bandai Namco. I will never, until you fix this, until you fix this problem right here, I will not stop criticizing you, Bandai Namco. I mean, I'm speaking just to like two people right now, but I'm gonna try to bring this up to them. I am going to bring this issue to them eventually, one way or another. They need to know this shit. Anyways, next time we'll chat again. Oh, the after is just to be exclusive in the WiiWare of all things. Ah, interesting. Is this why you're playing the ship deck ambience? Because this game's publishers sure do make it you where only pirates get to live in the high life. I did not mean for that to happen, but you know what? This actually works very well. Anyways, that's my rant about Tales of Inaccessibility. Let's get back to the next game, which was Tales of Graces F. That little F is important. So Tales of Graces originally came out on the Wii in Japan, and they made a PS3 version called it Tales of Graces F. I don't know what the F stands for. Maybe we can look that up. Hold on. Let's go ahead and add it real quick. Tales of Graces F, and apparently it's with a lowercase f. I guess level. Tales of Graces F. I don't want to go into the Tales of Wiki because the Tales of Wiki does not give a shit about giving out spoilers. So let's just go to Wikipedia. Maybe we can find something here. The game was ported to PlayStation 3 under the title of the game was released in Japan in December. The PlayStation 3 will look at blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Plot. I don't care about the plot. Blah 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 blah. Remember, the police was first revealed on Weekly Shonen Jump. I'm not seeing anything about what the F stands for. Point is, though, this is a port of the original Wii version with a little bit more content. Hey, this one runs at 60. Or at least the battles run at 60. Not the exploration part, but I guess I can forgive that. I guess I can forgive the exploration, the world traveling, to not run at 60 and run at 30 instead. I would prefer it if it ran at 60, but whatever. This is actually commonly praised for having the best combat system in the Tales of series. I kind of like Vesperia's better. I haven't finished Graces, but I have played a good bit of it. Like, at least 20 hours of this game. I kind of dropped it because I don't know. I just drop a lot of JRPGs. It's just a thing that happens. But it does have a really good combat system. It is very satisfying and flows very well. It's just I have a little bit of a bias for Vesperia. I just really like that one. You might say they're excessively inaccessible. Yeah, that is a problem with those. Like, for example, again, for this you have to get a PlayStation 3 or a Wii if you live in Japan. But the crude reality is that PlayStation 3s are not modern accessible hardware anymore. You have to go out of your way to get a PlayStation 3. You have to go to a retro game store, you have to go to eBay and Amazon and order one. And the PlayStation 3 online store is not being maintained. It is not operating properly. You can go there and you can buy stuff, but they don't really want you to. And it's so, I mean, I want to blame Sony entirely for that, but I can't, because I understand that that is an older machine, and you know, they have to let it go eventually. So I'm instead going to blame the publishers that still have games stuck on the PlayStation 3 and not making an effort to put them on newer consoles. So yeah, Tales of Graces F. This is not part of the Tales of Symphonia Chronicles collection, and I guess I can port this original system as Wii because this is like a port. It's not very commonly known for that, but I mean it is, so whatever. I'm not gonna put the achievements. This one has a lot of trophies. I mean, not trophies, titles. It seems like after Vesperia, they changed the title formula in Tales of games, so where they have so many titles, so many. It's a little bit wild. Like 20 hours dropped, but will return. I do really want to finish this game though. It's not for the story, but just because it's fun. The game is fun. If it's not fun, why bother? Man, I love Reggie. I'm not gonna give it a score because I haven't finished it. I really try not to give game scores if I haven't finished them. Like if I were to, I would probably give it like a 4. But no, I'm gonna hold the horses. Hold, wait a minute. When we finish it, I'll give you the proper score. I had a dream a few weeks ago about a retro game store on wheels. I mean, that would be cool, but then again, that's basically just delivery. If you order something from eBay or Amazon, it's like a retro game, like it'll technically come to you on wheels. Technically. I think that needs a kappa right next to that statement. I'm so glad I kept my PS3 worried about when the HD will pop out. Yeah. Now, I think getting a PS3 is not too difficult. It's just, you know, getting into the PlayStation 3 store and getting certain games for a PS3 is definitely expensive. Like there. Alright, let me just put it straight to you. The PS3 is a retro console now. I know that sounds outlandish. That sounds ridiculous, but it is 2 generations old and it is not being maintained by Sony anymore. You have to go into retro game stores to get PS3 games. You can't go to Best Buy, or I mean, you can still go to GameStop probably, but you can't go to like Best Buy. You can't go to Walmart and get PS3 games, or maybe like they might have like 1 or 2 just because they like trying to get rid of them. But it's not like they don't get like restocked on PS3 games. And let me show you something. What's a really expensive PS3? Like Africa PS3. That game is expensive. Go to Amazon. $250. Okay. That's $250 for a PS3 game. I mean, yes, it's a rare one, but the PS3 is officially old enough and inaccessible enough, so we're getting stuff like this. What else? Like let's see some titles over here. Here, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, $190. And even if you go for like the cheaper options, it's $125 at least. Let's see. Here, let's look up Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Man. Web of Shadows. Not Tree. But hey, even Tree. 40, almost $50 for Spider-Man 3, the game with the freaking like animation, like the really bad quick time event where like Spider-Man jumps, and if you miss a jump, it goes like, I'm gonna die, and then there's an explosion. Let me get some ambience over here. Cozy Treehouse, Victorian Office, Tea Party. I guess we're a little bit on like the C mood, so we might as well go for this. I want the 2 halves of GameStop as Twitch emotes. Game stop. Okay. Anyways, yeah, here, Web of Shadows currently available on Xbox, and if we go over here, only 1 left in stock for almost $70. Shattered Dimensions, almost $40. Edge of Time, $35. Spider-Man games, there's a lot of Spider-Man games stuck on the PlayStation 3, and like this, and like the Xbox 360. And some of them are actually pretty, like Shattered Dimensions is pretty good. I played it a little bit on RPCS3, and it's fun. And there's one Spider-Man game that's apparently like comparable to I think it's this one actually. Web of Shadows. It's comparable to Prototype, which is kind of interesting. I was gonna pick up the Killzone trilogy, but it shot up to 70 a while back. Yeah, like here, let's look at like Killzone trilogy, $70. You can buy it used for much cheaper, but still like $30 for an old game, an old PS3 collection. I guess that's a little better, but still. Or like, let's see if we can find, or if you want to get like the games individually, that's still like $15. Killzone 3 is $25. Resistance 3 is $40. 2 is a little bit cheaper. Resistance 1. Let's see. Even the freaking Metal Gear Solid collection is much cheaper. Shadowfall is cheaper, but that's on PS4, you know. So the PS4 is still accessible, so that's why this is cheap. But yeah, like we are officially have entered a time where PS3 games are expensive. Or not all, but certain PS3 games are expensive. Let me show you like El Shaddai. Now, cool things about El Shaddai though is that game is actually getting what's the name of it? It's actually getting a remaster. Ascension of the Metatron is getting a remaster. But still, almost $50. Okay, a little bit cheaper. Fine. But some of these are like, you gotta keep it that some of these are like collection items now. Like you don't want to just get like the disc only thing. You want to get like the whole thing. And we're looking at prices comparable to like brand new games on PS4 and Xbox One. But these are the old games now that are just harder to find. One game that I really want to play is Shadows of the Damned. How much is this one? Almost $100 for Shadows of the Damned. $40 minimum if you're trying to. Yeah, like no. I'm not doing that. I do legitimately want to play this game, but like I'm not paying $100 for Shadows of the Damned. Just because it looks fun doesn't mean that I'm willing to do that much. And I don't think it's available on the PlayStation Store. So if you want to play it, you have to dish out the cash, and that's not cool. It's not cool, Sony. Put your games, like publishers, put your games available. Like, hey, Suda51, can you just give us Shadows of the Damned on current consoles, like PC at least? You're there with Killer 7. Apparently, you're doing it for No More Heroes. Can we get some Shadows of the Damned? How much is Lollipop Chainsaw? Hold on. Since we're talking about Suda51 for a minute, okay, Lollipop Chainsaw was way more affordable. Oh, okay, on the Xbox 360. That is the premium edition, so that's got like a bunch of stuff, so that's why that costs so much. But Japan. Now wait a minute, why is it is it all like Japan imports? Okay, there, well, that's like a British version. There. Why is like the regular version of Lollipop Chainsaw in North America like not available? That's so weird. Okay. Guess you're gonna have to import it from Japan, and I guess maybe if the characters speak English, you wouldn't have really much of a problem. Alright, whatever. That's enough of that's enough of like looking up rare PS3 games. Anyways, what's the next game on the Tales of Thingamabob? It is Tales of Cilia. So Tales of Cilia is another game that is stuck on the PlayStation 3. This marked the start of when Bandai Namco would use the same engine for every Tales of game for years. Tales of Cilia, Cilia 2, Zestiria, and Berseria all use the same exact engine. It just looks a little bit better as the games go on, but it is the exact same engine. Like, Cilia looked unique when it came out, it looked very good, but after it got 3 more games that look basically exactly the same, it no longer looks that impressive. It actually looks kind of dated now. Nonetheless, this is also kind of a divisive game. Like, some people do genuinely like Cilia. Some people say it's like their favorite. And then other people are like, this marks a low point in the franchise. And sales-wise, this was a low point in the franchise. Like, there was a lot of hype for this game, and then it just didn't sell. But I think you can get Tales of Cilia from the PlayStation Store. It might be available on GameStop, but okay, seriously, some things to be kept in mind is that, like the GameStop website stuff, like they'll tell you that they have it, like they'll put a listing for it, and then they'll be like, oh, we don't have anything available within like a 100-mile radius. Oh no, we can't ship it. Oh, sorry, we just don't have that game. Like they have it on the website, but they just can't sell it to you. Don't. I mean, maybe now that their stocks are going up, they'll fix that. I don't know. Tales of Cilia, just like Races, I started it. I played it for a while, and then I dropped it. I was having fun with it, but I dropped it. I stopped playing it. So I'll come back to it one day. So it's finished, unfinished play. It was fun though. You know, the main gimmick with this one is that it has 2 different campaigns. Let's see. Started Jude's campaign. Haven't finished. So yeah, there's 2 main characters in Tales of Cilia. I mean, there's 6 there's a party of 6 main characters, and the main characters are Jude and Milla. And both of them have their own campaign. So I think now the thing is that, okay, I'm saying their own campaign, but it's not actually that complex. It's more like it's the same story, but seen from Jude's perspective, and then you can see it from Milla's perspective. And from what I've heard, there is enough of like a cutscene difference to, you know, go ahead and go through with it, to play the game twice. But there's not really much of a gameplay difference. It's because you can actually play. It's not like you can only play as Jude on Jude's route and Milla on Milla's route. You can play as Jude on Milla's route and Milla on Jude's route. So it's purely like a story thing. It's not much of a gameplay thing, as far as I'm aware, as far as I've read, as I understand. We'll find out when we stream it. And I'm gonna put the trophies on it, so we're just gonna go ahead and add that. And then after Tales of Cilia, they made and they delivered Tales of Cilia 2. And look, we're down to the last 2 games. So Tales of Cilia 2, despite the fact that it's named 2, it does not have 2 characters like the first game did. Or like, no, not like 2 main characters. It only has 1. It's this boy, Mr. Luger, something Kresnik. I don't. His name is Luger. He's the main guy. And then there's Elle. She's like important. I don't know how she's important. I don't know. I haven't played the game. I put the game in, put the disc in, made sure it worked. It worked, and it is fine. I do know that for some reason, this is a very weird thing that they hit behind completing the game. So Luger, the protagonist, is actually silent. He doesn't say anything. I mean, he says things that he can speak. He just doesn't. And there are like, the game gives you like options. At a certain point, like, you'll have an option to say this or say that, and those options in your first playthrough are not voiced, but like on your second playthrough you unlock the ability for them to be voiced, which is like, why is that a thing that I have to finish the game for? That's so weird. Anyways, Luger, now he might only be 1 character, but he has like 3 different playstyles, because he has twin swords, he has twin guns, and he has a hammer, like a big old hammer. I'm pretty sure. And he's also been, I've heard that he's like one of the most overpowered characters in the whole franchise. Like, you have absolutely no reason to play as anyone besides Luger, because everyone else is just so much weaker than him. It's like overpowered and shit. So we'll find out. We will find out. And Tales of Cilia 2 has more playable characters than the first game. It's not just Luger. It's like a few others. So, hey. Now this one's unfinished and unplayed. I'm not gonna play Cilia 2 until I play Cilia 1. Naturally, that just sounds like the normal order of things. So, saving this for until after Cilia. Okay. Which else character has the silliest worst name? That's That's a good question. There's a lot of characters and some of them do have some pretty silly names. The protagonists are usually fine. Like, I don't think any Tales of protagonist has a weird name. Like, let's see, like there's Cress, there's Stan. Okay, I will admit, Tales of Destiny's protagonists do have like very basic names. Stan and Kyle. Like, you wouldn't expect like a JRPG save the world protagonist to have a name like Kyle. Well, that's his name. And the first one is Stan. So, whatever. Reed, Lloyd, Vague, Senel, Luca, Yuri. What's the name of Mr. Hearts? What is his name? Hold on a second. Let's look this up right now. Tales of Hearts. Sure, R, whatever. Where is the? I guess we'll look at like the character list real quick. Just like pass by it real quick. Core. Okay, his name is kind of. He's known in Japan as Shing instead of Core. So Core Meteor or Shing Meteorite. Okay, his name is kind of silly. I don't think it's the silliest, but it's definitely silly. Goku History Ines, Kansai, Chalcedonian Gal. I heard you mentioned the A, which isn't a name in my opinion. And L. Oh, L. Okay, it's E-L-L-E. But let me find that. Okay, where's your Escotado game series? Wait. Mothership titles. Okay. That is. Oh, seriously. Look at Will Kresnik. That's his middle name. His name is okay. L. That's what I meant to say. Alvin, Elise, Rowan. Yeah, nobody here has a particularly weird name. I don't think that Tales of games are really known for having like characters with weird names. Let me see. Stan, Rudy, Leon, Philia, Gar, Mary, Chelsea, Carol. Okay, Bruce or Kang is pretty good. That's a pretty good name. I'll give you that. Spada, Ilya, Angie, Ricardo, or Mana. Q. Okay, QQ is a strange name. Not sure what's going on there, but it's not the weirdest. Yeah, Tales of is not really known for having weird names of characters. Okay. Yeah, L is a weird name, and yet I actually do have a co-worker named L. It's spelled like that and everything. So it is an odd name, but it isn't unheard of, I guess, is what you could say. Let's see. And anyways, I think that's about enough. I've talked to you guys about Tales of for like the past hour. I'm sure you're tired of that by now. Let's move on to the final game on our physical PlayStation 3 collection, which is Yakuza Dead Souls. This is the only Yakuza game that is... No, because there's also Kensan, which is like that's a whole can of worms. Yakuza Dead Souls, it is a zombie game based on the Yakuza universe. Yeah, that's a thing. So I haven't really played it much, but I guess from the outside looking in, it kind of reminds me of like Dead Rising, but with Yakuza characters. Let's look up some gameplay real quick. Okay, because I know it's a little bit different. So let's see, like a free battle gameplay. Let's look at this a bit more. So you have guns, first of all. I mean, you have guns in the basic Yakuza games as well, but like this is more. It's not even Dead Rising because it's not that exciting. This game was not particularly well received as compared to the other Yakuza games, which have all been very well received. This is more of a just generic zombie game. It came out when like everybody was making a zombie game, when Call of Duty had like a zombie mode, so everybody had to have a zombie mode. I mean, there you go. It's. Let's make sure I actually have it. Okay. This is just a free battle, of course. It's not like the main game. But still, like, I feel like this really didn't need to be Yakuza. Again, from the outside looking in, this really did not need to be freaking Yakuza. This could have been just its own little thing. We'll go away from here. Why are we watching Yakuza? We're watching Yakuza Dead Souls. It is a spin-off on the place. Is that Kiryu? It's a bunch of Kiryus. Like zombie Kiryus. This is so weird. But yeah, we're just looking at like a little bit of gameplay here, just to like understand what this game is even about. But yeah, maybe try Yakuza Dead Rising next time. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like Dead Rising, but apparently it's not. We got boss fights and everything. The screaming lady. She's almost dead already. The controls look really awkward, like this guy is struggling. He is having a hard time. And you can kick, I guess. Is it trying to be Left 4 Dead? It's kind of trying to be Left 4 Dead. It's not doing a good job at it. Thanks, GameSpot. Alright, cool. So, that's Yakuza Dead Souls. We'll play it for... I can't even guarantee you a full playthrough of that. We'll definitely stream it at least once, just to get a proper hands-on experience with it. But whether we actually do a full playthrough of that or not, it depends entirely on whether it actually has a story mode and whether it's actually fun. Like the regular Yakuza games, oh, those are loads of fun. Those are excellent games. That just looked generic. Like, jeez, scratch that. I don't think it's trying to be anything. It's just like shoot game. But like not good. It's not Doom shoot game. It's not Quake shoot game. It's just shoot game. And I feel like Yakuza does not need shoot game. Yakuza, like, you can definitely make spin-offs of Yakuza or like stuff based on the Yakuza formula, and they did it with Fist of the North Star and Judgment, but shoot game, it's not what they needed to go for. Last unfinished and unplayed, and nope. Excited for this one. Again, we'll still give it a shot. You never know. Never know, and it might actually have something more going on in it. That was just like a 3-minute video, so it's hard to really judge a game from that much. But anyways, that was the last physical PS3 game that I currently own. If I get some more, obviously I'll go ahead and add them in future Backloggery streams, but we can now move on to the digital collection. The barriers are so entertaining in Yakuza. Zombies kind of kill is the fun in my opinion. Yeah, it's just like, why would you do that? First of all, let me get some water. And actually, let me see if I can just console on here. Well, yes, I can. I need to make the browser go small. Okay. Let's see. So let's go over our collection over here again. I'm actually just looking at this from the PlayStation from the Streamlabs preview, which has a 1 second delay. So I gotta like do this properly. Let me mute the console just so we don't get music blasting in our ears. But I guess we'll start with the PS3. There are PS2 and PS1 games that I have in here, but we'll just keep going with the PS3 and then we'll go from there. So the very first thing is Beyond Good and Evil HD. Beyond Good and Evil is very commonly you know, praised for being like a very unique indie. Well, it's not indie. It's because it's made by Ubisoft. I don't think it's actually an indie game. It's just underrated. That's the right word. Beyond Good and Evil originally came out on like all of the consoles back in the what is it, 6th generation? Yeah, 6th generation. So PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. I actually used to own the GameCube version, and then they made the HD remaster. So I was like, oh, well, we'll get rid of this and we'll go with that instead. And I played it, and it's really good. It's I actually had to lower my expectations a little bit because everyone that ever talks about Beyond Good and Evil will call it an underrated game, a hidden gem that people should have played more. So like, because so many people said the same thing, I thought it was gonna actually have problems, and people were just being blinded by nostalgia. But no, it's actually a pretty cool game. It's not perfect. There are improvements that could be made, but it is a genuinely fun game. Let's not talk about the ending. Alright, Beyond Good and Evil. Actually, is it Beyond Good and Evil with an oh, it's with an ampersand. Okay. Beyond Good. I'm not gonna put the HD here. We didn't feel like the point. I will just put original system. I guess PS2. I guess. Technically, it was on PS2 and GameCube and Xbox. It was an original, like exclusively on there, but you know, whatever. I'm never trusting an HD remaster ever again after Crystal Chronicles. Always keep your original copies. Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, obviously, results may vary. The God of War HD remasters are pretty good. The Sly Cooper's HD remasters are pretty good. The Ratchet and Clank HD remasters are not that good. The Tales of Symphonia HD remaster leaves a lot to be desired. So it's hit or miss. Now, if it's like a full HD from the ground up remake, that's different. That's like Crash Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited, the new Medieval. Well, not new, but you know, the remaster, HD remaster of Medieval. That's good. That's because that actually involves a lot more work. So you expect something of quality. Or if it's just like upscaling, and if it's just upscaling and updating the textures, if you have the original, keep it. If not, do a little bit of research before you really make a purchasing decision. Don't assume that the HD version is the better version. That's the case with Bioshock. Bioshock Remastered and Bioshock 2 Remastered are like... on PC, they have a lot of compatibility issues, so like they will constantly crash. I had that happen with Bioshock 1. Now Bioshock 2 also crashed for me, but that was the original Bioshock 2, so I don't even know what to do with that game. But yeah, Bioshock 1 Remaster, crashed like crazy for me on PC. It was fine on PS4. But it's a first-person shooter. I would like to play it on PC with mouse and keyboard, thank you. But, you know. Anyways, this one was completed. I did complete that game. Got all the trophies. And I guess we're gonna... I don't want to switch around. I'll put it on later. Off stream. I don't really feel like checking too much. I've just been playing Year of the Dragon Remaster, I think. I still say that the weird old polygon models have more charm to them in some cases. Yeah, like... I have obviously heard the concern that, and this is the thing that always comes up when an HD remaster comes around. That it loses the style of the original. That it loses the feel of the original. And I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, like... sometimes it goes a little bit too overboard. Now, one thing that they did change with Reignited Trilogy is the voice acting. They redid all of the voice acting, as you would expect from an HD remaster. But the original had like... the original Spyro games sometimes had like intentionally bad voice acting. Which was just kind of like... it added to the experience. Whereas the Reignited Trilogy has more like... professional, but not as memorable voice acting. Like, Spyro's fine, because Spyro's voice is voiced by the same actor that voiced him from 2 onwards. Don't remember his name, but him. But the rest of the cast has been recast, and they're not, again, they're professionally voiced, they don't sound bad, they're just kind of weird. It's kind of a little bit different. But the actual gameplay experience, from what I've heard of Spyro Reignited, is pretty good. It's definitely much more fun to play the games on their HD remasters, even if the visual aesthetic might be, you know, if you're a big fan of like the old style, that's fine. Anyways, Beyond Good and Evil, completed, pretty good. Okay. Give it like a... I'm not sure if I want to give it a 4, but it's definitely no less than a 3. We'll lowball it. We always lowball it, and then if I come back to it and say that it should be higher, then I can make it higher. Otherwise, we'll just keep it right there. Nowhere is this more apparent than the Mario and Luigi 3DS remakes. The weird, unique pixel art lost so much personality on the move to 3D renders, captured as 2D sprites, Donkey Kong Country style. I don't like it one bit. Interesting. I was actually not aware that they changed it like that much. An interesting example of this is Valkyrie Profile. It originally came out on PS1, and there's the PS1. Well, I mean, it wasn't with the whole game, just the opening intro. But the opening intro on PS1 was an anime style, 2D animated, hand-drawn thing. Then they made a PSP port of the game, and for some reason decided that instead of porting instead of remaking the intro, they made it 3D. And it probably doesn't look as good. I guess we can do a side-by-side comparison. Maybe. Hold on. Don't get me started on Bowser's Inside Story 3DS, which somehow can't go above 30 frames per second when the game before it ran at 60 just fine. Oof. And I was actually talking about like how much I really wanted to play these games the other, like on the Jersey Devil stream a few days ago. And I still want to play them. Still want to try them out. Just it's unfortunate that it faced such unfortunate fates. Let me look at like Valkyrie Profile. What is it on Steam? It's not on Steam, is it? Valkyrie Profile Lynette. Available now. Well, there is now over iOS and Android. Really? Well, calling me surprised. Okay. Cool. Can we Can we get it on Steam? Square? Can you put these games on like good places? Alright, fine, sure. You keep your stuff. Intro. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so what? Yeah, so here's the original. Let's check it out. Okay, let's hope I don't get like a copyright strike. So again, this is the PS1 version. Should I actually I'm showing this? Yeah, I'm showing this. Yeah, 2D animated. It's pretty cool. It's got that like 90s anime style. It's great. I mean, there's a lot of screen tearing, but that's probably just from this guy recording. It gets you excited for like a cool game, and then we'll see how the 3D version fares. This is probably like I guarantee you this is not the original song that will play in the Japanese version. Like 100% this is not the original version. Oh, there is the Valkyrie. What's her name again? I don't remember. Which is cool. This is cinematic. Alright, anyways. The game publishers ever announced when they dropped the report on Steam. I almost feel like there's a permanent question mark related to Steam because you never know what's on there. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the original PS1 version. Let's see how the Laneth is the name of the PSP port. So this one's a 3D. Well, okay, it doesn't look bad. It just did. Well, I mean, okay, hold on. It doesn't look bad. It just looked a lot better before. Yeah, it looked a lot better before. Actually, that's not from the recording. That's my YouTube window messing up. Whatever. The music is still the same. That's cool. So I would say that if we didn't have a point of comparison, I would say that this is perfectly fine. But because we do have a point of comparison, this just doesn't look as good. Now the game itself, the PSP version might be better, but whatever. Yeah, the anime is way better. Now, a little bit of history on Valkyrie Profile. It is, if you know the game Indivisible, Indivisible takes quite a few cues from Valkyrie Profile. Because Valkyrie Profile is an RPG that actually has you like platforming. Like it's almost Metroidvania-like in its dungeon exploration. There's platforming. There's you can like search for stuff. 50% German, 50% whatever. Like what even was the other stuff? Like okay, that's just like gameplay, and I don't want to look at the final boss. But the combat system is very unique. It's it's basically just like Indivisible, just a little bit more primitive. So if you like Indivisible, if you've played Indivisible and enjoyed it, where you played the whole game or just a little bit, Valkyrie Profile is the biggest inspiration for that game, as far as I'm aware. Maybe not artistically, but gameplay wise, yeah, there's a lot of similarities there. But what was I doing again? Right, collection. There's the next game on the list. It is Acceleration with Sugary. X edition. So Acceleration of Sugary is a... Okay, just Sugary. It's a little bit of a franchise. It is very bullet hell inspired, and that specific game, Acceleration of Sugary, is a fighting game that uses bullet hell mechanics. It's interesting. It's not particularly impressive, and I'm not entirely sure why I even got it. It's just like it was there, and I was like, this is different. And I think I just had some money on my PSN wallet, so I was like, sure, we'll give it a shot. Alright, Acceleration of Sugary. X edition. I don't know why this edition is X, but it's the X edition. I forget. Have you noticed the search in community posts like I told you about it? Yeah, I've noticed that, and I'm not entirely sure what the joke is yet, but I have seen German making constant posts that are maybe not German-like, so I'll have to look into that. Is Indivisible worth it? I know it's made by the Skullgirls team, but after the whole Mike Z incident, all the plan was cancelled. The planned content was cancelled. So is Indivisible worth it? From what I've heard, I haven't played it. I played the demo. I played like the prototype, and it was very fun. It was actually very good. But you know, as for the whole game, I'm still pretty sure like it's a good game. Like I have definitely heard that it is a good video game. And the planned DLC content, as far as I'm aware, was just DLC characters. Not like extra chapters or like finishing the story in any capacity. So the main game, as far as I'm aware, the main game is finished. And the main game is great. But you know, they can no longer finish it. They can no longer finish all of their... No, they finished the main game, they just can't finish all of the plans that they had for it. Like Shantae was going to be a party member, and like I think maybe like Shovel Knight too. That's not going to happen anymore. But I remember Towa-sama from Hololive actually played that. I'm not sure if she played the whole game, but she definitely played some of that game, and looks pretty good. Exploring dungeons is fun. The combat is fun. The art style is beautiful. The music is great. The writing is charming. It's a good indie game. It's one of those good indie games you'll hear about all the time. Shmup with a coat of anime girl paint is such a ridiculously bloated genre for some reason. Yeah, like it's either a shmup with an anime girl or with like a ship, like a spaceship. Which, I mean, fair enough. Those two things just kind of go hand in hand. But and then you get Azure Lane, which is both at the same time. Okay, the joke is the gaming algorithm. I actually own a copy of Indivisible, but haven't played it yet. Well, again, it's supposed to be a good game. Looking good video games. It just got in a little bit of a debacle because of Mike C apparently being a piece of shit. Again, I don't remember exactly what he did. What the hell did Mike C do? Mike Z. Yeah, so this guy. As Mike Z was the lead design director for program for Lab Zero Games. He and Alex had to get. He was also on the okay, so he's got autism. Cool. So is Mike Z as a computer science. I mean, that's actually not cool. What am I saying? Wait, no. But okay, Mike Z. Controversy. Okay, in June 2020, multiple allegations of misconduct were made against Simon. Two individuals claimed that Simon made inappropriate sexual comments towards them, which triggered an internal investigation of Simon's behavior within Lab Zero Games. A decision was reached by Lab Zero's board to request Simon's resignation. According to Lab Zero's senior producer Brian June, Simon refused to resign unless A series of demands were met, of which June deemed unrealistically high and potentially illegal. Simon's demands were rejected by the board. In response, Simon disbanded the board and assumed sole ownership of Lab Zero Games. Jonathan Kim, Lab Zero senior animator, claimed that Simon delivered that ultimatum wherein he gave all unsatisfied employees until August 31st to leave the company. In late August, Kim, June, the American right, Lab Zero's data animator, signed Lab Zero Games was invaded relations of Sarah, was the day of the Zero Nation hidden Okay, so basically he was an asshole. Maybe a good game designer, maybe a talented artist, but not a good co-worker by any stretch. Like he did some bad things. And that is unfortunate too. Like, it is very unfortunate, but it happens. Some good games, very good games sometimes, are made by bad people. This is especially true in like the AAA industry, where like you see like Rockstar Games and Ubisoft. You know, I mean, I don't even want to get into the whole Ubisoft stuff, but games that you find fun and engaging and entertaining, not all the time, but you know, sometimes, are made by shitty people, and like, you want to separate the game from the creator, and you can do that, but then again, getting the game supports the creator. So if you really want the game without helping the creator, you have to pirate, which, you know, that's a whole can of worms. Like, is it better to, if you really hate the developer or like the people behind it, does it make it okay to pirate their product? I'm not going to give you an answer, because there's not a right answer or a wrong answer for that. That's a discussion, which I feel like we already had a similar discussion earlier today, so I don't want to get into that. What were we doing? Acceleration of Sugary. That's what we were doing. Acceleration of Sugary. X Edition is the expansion of Sugary, adding new characters and 2 story modes. So by Orange Juice and the Polish by Rocky Anderson, who wanted the original game with X Edition. It all comes back to ethics of piracy, yes. I mean, basically every single game we've played on this channel has been on an emulator. Like, just, it's gonna come back to it very often. But anyways, the Sugary games are actually on Steam, so I guess let's look at some gameplay so you guys get a feel. Wait, hold on, what? Oh, really? Does Sony have like a direct involvement with this? That's interesting. Alright, well, okay. Yeah, so there's some of the Orange Juice developers. False pounding dojin action. I don't think dojin is the right word. You're just throwing weep sentences in there. Okay, but yeah, so it is a very different kind of fighting game. But it works. I actually did get all the trophies for this too. Get ready for the rush. Yeah, so this is like back when. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. This is the PS3 trailer. They didn't make a Steam trailer. They just put the PS3 trailer on Steam. Oh my god, that is... Oh, that's some scuff. That's why Sony was listed. No, they didn't make it. No, they didn't participate in making this game. This is just a straight up PS3 trailer. I mean, all you had to do was change some logos. You could have, the trailer could be exactly the same. Otherwise, you just had to change some logos. Orange juice, rockin' Android. What? Alright. I feel really bad for the team, but I'm glad they didn't lose their love for games and made a new team without Mike Z. Yeah, I know they did make a new team, so like they'll have to abandon their old projects, but I mean, at the end of the day, the developers and their talent matters a lot more than the games that they made before. They can make the next Skullgirls, they can make the next Indivisible. They'll figure something out. Sugary, let me see. So yeah, there's Sugary and Acceleration, but wait, there's more Sugary. I know there's more than that. No, don't you lie to me. Hold on a second. It's right here. Acceleration Sugary 2. I don't know what the difference is. I guess it's just a direct sequel to the same game. Wait, what the fuck? How is this $430? Oh, Jesus Christ. Acceleration bundle. What's this? Okay, this is Sugar 2. Sugary, is it 13 arranged best? Oh, okay, so wait, what? Why is this so... Sugary 2 original soundtrack. Official Orange Juice soundtrack by the Sugary series featuring... So basically it's the game, some potentially overpriced BGMs, and a custom set. No sir, I don't want none of that. Anyways, it's fun. It's alright. It's passable. It's enjoyable enough, I guess. I don't have enough of an interest in the Sugary. I actually have Sugary on Steam, and I couldn't finish it. I could not finish that game because it was just too... It was too difficult. Yeah, just straight up. Bullet hell games are not easy, and Sugary was not an easy entry-level thing for that series, so... Nope. Blue. And I guess I'll give it like a... I don't even know if I want to give it a 3. Maybe like a... It's probably like a 2 by now. Like my standard for quality has changed over the past several years since I played this, so we'll do that. What is next on the list? Let's... Should be Infamous Festival of Blood. There you go. Okay. So Festival of Blood is a standalone DLC chapter for Infamous 2. Not Infamous 1. Infamous 1, the only DLC on Infamous 1 is the electrical blades, whatever they're called. They were originally like a pre-order bonus, and then they just made it available for everybody for free. Because it's just like a little power-up, so you really didn't need to charge for that. So, let me make sure that I didn't like already add it without realizing it. Oh, I did! Huh. Never mind. Yeah, okay, I got to work late, and while there's really not much to do for once, I am gonna have to focus, so I'll exit here. See you later. Well, we're almost done with the stream anyway, so thank you for joining us for pretty much the whole thing. Good luck at work. Hope everything goes alright. And, I'll catch you next time. Never mind, we don't have to talk about Festival of Blood, but we could. We do have to talk about Quest for Booty. So let's see. Quest for Booty is... How fitting that we have this. Talking about... There's so much talk about pirates today. This is just a pirates discussion stream. Alright, Quest for, let me make sure that I didn't add that either. Is it not? Okay. Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty is slow game. It is like 2 hours. Maybe 4 hours. It's not a long game. We can probably play that in no more than 2 streams. No more than 2. I guarantee you it will not take any longer than that. And interestingly, it came out physically in Europe, but not in here. And I feel like I already probably talked about this the last time we were talking about Ratchet and Clank. So, Quest for Booty. Should the 4 be capitalized? Nah, probably not. But despite how short it is fun. It's like a very condensed Ratchet and Clank experience, and it feels kind of weird to call it the second game in the Future Trilogy because it's so short, so it just goes by so quickly that it's hard to really call it a full game and not just like a standalone DLC. But it is good. I definitely enjoyed Quest for Booty. I don't know if I completed it because I don't know if there's anything to complete. Like you finish the game, but I don't think there's like that much. Like, do you even upgrade weapons in that game? Is there a new game plus? I don't think so. I'm gonna mark it as beaten because I need to double check, but I wanna say that there's no like completionist stuff on Quest for Booty. Okay. It's like 3 hours long. 2, 3, 4, like I don't remember, but it was, I beat it in one sitting. I sat down to play it like late afternoon, early evening, and like a few hours later I was done with it. So 3 hours long. I can type this better. I can phrase this a little better. Fun. 3 hours. There you go. It was like a 4. I mean, considering the price, which don't tell nobody, but I got it for free, because it comes like, because the way they did it is they packaged it into the Nexus. They what's the name of it? Into the Nexus has a voucher for it. As a voucher for just a free copy of Quest for Booty. So when Into the Nexus came out, I went to like a random GameStop. I looked at the used section, and like I figured, like if it's used, they probably already redeemed the code for Quest for Booty. But I tried it out anyway, so like I took a picture of the code in one of the boxes for Into the Nexus, and it worked. And that's actually how I got the PSP HD remasters of God of War as well. Because I figured, like, if it's on the used section, they already redeemed the codes, right? But apparently not. Apparently people don't know how to redeem codes. So towards the end of this piracy-oriented stream, that is my final, my culmination. I did do a naughty. I did do something bad. So don't tell your parents. Don't tell GameStop. They might throw some stocks at me. But they got plenty of those. All right. And I guess we have time for like just one more game, real quick. Let's see. Next on the list is well, how fitting. Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus. I guess we can add this together. So, Chains of Olympus is I've probably already talked about it already from when we were discussing the God of War games. And what's the name of that collection? Is it Origins? Yeah, Origins collection. So Chains of Olympus is kind of interesting. Like, and the reason why I think it's interesting is because there's a lot of focus of that game in Kratos' daughter. And what fascinates me is how much people claim, like, talk about Kratos as a father in the new God of War, in the 2018 reboot. Because, like, did they forget that he's always been a father? He was, well, I mean, you know, I won't talk about it too much because we are going to play Chains of Olympus right after God of War 1, so I'm not going to get into details now, but he's always been a father. This isn't, the new game is not his first time being a father. And he's always been a terrible father. Kratos is the worst dad. Okay, maybe not as bad as Goku, but he gives Goku a run for his money. Kratos is a really bad dad. And now suddenly, like, everybody forgot about it when Atreus was the new kid. Like, what? No. So, the new God of War has a lot of convincing to do towards me, to make me like Kratos as a father, because as far as I'm aware, he is a bad dad. He's a real bad dad. God of War Origins. Oh no, this is just Origins Collection. Original system on the PlayStation Portable. This was the first portable God of War game, and you know, like, just like everything on the PSP, despite being portable, it could very easily be a console experience. And so they made it a console experience. Okay, I think they put in the new vouchers if they're still available. I've bought new stuff from them as well at the headquarters if they were still good. Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Alright, anyways, this one's completed. I actually did have the platinum trophy. I'll just come back and like add trophies later on my own. It's not exciting to show you all the trophies. Yes. Kratos always dead. Bad dad. Game itself though is pretty good. Every God of War game is a quality product. You know, for me at least, you know, everybody has their own opinions. But for me, it's pretty good. And then Ghost of Sparta. Let's put the thing on real quick. Yeah, it also comes with like director commentary. Ghost of Sparta is similar to Chains of Olympus in the sense that it also talks about a family member of Kratos. Now, Chains of Olympus revolves mainly around Kratos' daughter. Ghost of Sparta revolves around Kratos' brother. So, yeah, that's just something that both of the PSP games had in common. They both discussed, you know, explored Kratos' family. And it's pretty, I want to say that they're not very memorable. Like, I played God of War Chains of Olympus like a couple of years ago for the first time, and I replayed it like sometime last year, and I actually did not remember most of the locations that were on that game. Like, I remember enjoying the game, but I didn't remember the actual locations. And with Ghost of Sparta, it's basically the same. Like, I remember there's like an icy place, and I remember the final area. Okay, the final area of Ghost of Sparta is actually pretty cool. It is a very different take on like the underworld from what the series usually does. But it's yeah, I don't know like what it is about the portable games. It's just like not memorable. They're not bad. They're actually fun. They're just not memorable. But I do like them. And again, the final section of Ghost of Sparta is actually pretty good. I'm looking forward to replaying that. And then there's Ascension. Ascension just was a whole thing. We'll get to that eventually. This one's not completed yet. I do have to go back and finish it on the hardest difficulty and do the like the extra challenge rooms that every God of War game has. Once I'm done with that, then it'll be completed. So looking forward to that. Progress note. Actually, Kratos' brother is mentioned like very, very briefly in a post video that you can unlock on God of War 1, and I think that's where they got the idea for this game. And I'm pretty sure Kratos was not a good brother. Kratos is generally a bad person, a bad family member. He's only a good warrior. That's the only thing that Kratos is actually good at. He's good at killing people. Anything else is no. Kratos is also a bad bro. Alright. The game itself is great, it's just Kratos. Kratos is the problem. They've got to have done some like insane character rewriting and like not redesign, just they have to have taken Kratos in an entirely different direction on the new God of War game for me to like that guy, because he is, in my opinion, Kratos is one of the most despicable video game characters. His games are excellent. His games are so much fun. It's just the pilot. The ride is fun. The pilot is a piece of shit. Alright. Anyways, that's about it for today. We added a couple more games. We officially moved on to like the digital games that I have on my PS3, so that's cool. So we added this. We added that, and we added. Where are you? Wait. Origins collection. Yeah, so there's the regular collection, then the Origins collection, and then that's pretty cool. So tomorrow I will do another stream, hopefully, and tomorrow we'll play God of War. I wanted to. What did I want to do? I'm trying to think. I wanted to test console recording a little bit more. That's why I was originally going to do it today, but a bunch of stuff came up, so I couldn't really do it. But again, with all the technical difficulties that I had last week, well, not all of them, there was one, but that one technical difficulty did concern me, so that's why I'm trying to see if console recording is fine. I still want to try a little bit more with RPCS3 to not entirely give up on it, but it is important to understand that emulators are not 100% reliable, so you can only really go so far with them before you have to consider switching to the console if you have that option. If you don't have that option, well, if I didn't have that option, I probably wouldn't be playing PS3 games. But hey, that's a different story for a different day. Nonetheless, we got 2 viewers. That's not really much of a raid here. I think Twitch doesn't even notify you of a raid if it's like 3 people or less, something like that. Or maybe like Streamlabs won't notify you or something. But like if a raid is too small, like it won't even matter. So yeah, we'll just end the stream here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hopefully see you tomorrow again with some more God of War. And yeah, we'll see you then. Bye bye.